Oh, it's Wednesday. Let's get the humping. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Film Junkee Live. It is Wednesday, February 26th. That's right. Of course, February going way too quickly. Man, already going to be 2 months into 2025. And, well, end of the world hasn't happened quite yet, right, guys? Not yet. Hit that like, thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Become a member if you want to support the channel. We'll do a members-only stream right after this stream, and it can be a little bit more personal. We can get a little bit more romantic. You can ask me some more questions and stuff like that, and or you got the Patreon. I also post some extra stuff on there, so appreciate everybody who actually supports the channel like that. You guys are awesome, but let's see who's out there in the chat right now. What's going on? Gilmer would have been a live service disaster. Glad you pulled the plug. Huh? What are you talking about? No. Game City Savior. You just know Gunn asked about the whiteboards. Ooh. The whiteboards. What's going on, Ryan? Good to see you. Let's see. Would have been a live service disaster. Glad they pulled the plug. Sorry, I read that wrong, Gilmer. Yeah. You're talking about the game. That's what, totally just like the first comment I cheese up, right? It happens, don't worry. But Cloned Avenger, Jason Momoa, hanging on stage with Pantera not too long ago, backstage with Metallica. Safe to say, I think if he gets a solo Lobo film, the soundtrack is going to be lit. Yeah, I'm not sure if he was actually, because I went to one of those Metallica shows that was in LA 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago. And I know Jason Momoa I think he was at the other one, or he went to both. I can't remember. But yeah, I know he's like a big metalhead and a big Metallica fan and everything like that. So maybe I could have saw him. I could have mossed with fucking Aquaman and future Lobo at one point. I wasn't on the ground level, though. I wouldn't, getting those mosh pits, holy crap. Taladia plays, what's happening? I wonder if James' secret DCU project is an obscure character. Well, we're going to talk about that, of course. We got Ninja Gamer right here. Hey, they have to have Batman in non-Bat movies if we won't be getting his film till after the Batman 2, but Clayface being R means they probably won't use that one to introduce him beyond a small cameo. Well, I mean, if it's a cameo, it is kind of an introduction. I mean, we did get the Creature Command. I don't know. That is an interesting, when are they going to introduce that DCU Batman? What's going on, Brendan? Let's get nuts. What's going on, JD McRae? We got Versus CDAO. What is going on? We got Music Man. J-Fizz, just a dude who wants to see DC stories. Hey, you too? You too? What? I just want to see DC stories myself. And I've really enjoyed past DC stories. Not all of them, but I would say most of them. And see them have a conclusion. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing right there, is that conclusion, right? If Gunn was before Zach and didn't conclude, I'd want that before Zach. Just saying. Yeah, you know what? You bring up a good point. What's going on, Mr. Droga, Axel? So anything happened today? No, not much. Just the usual. Fans arguing with each other and being pissed at each other and stirring up everything. So, and then of course we got Mr. Eric, Hardball Entertainment. Your office is looking better. Oh yeah, did you guys see the newly added piece to the background? Do you guys see it? I told you guys on Monday, if you were paying attention Monday, I said I had one more thing that I was going to be adding because I had a little bit of space. And I was like, when I saw it on Amazon, I went, perfect. Do you see it? Come on. Oh, and of course I knock over the hat. Get back up there. Forget, there's some things that are 3D, but of course, I got this. I saw this, I was like, perfect. Fills up that little gap right there. That little gap. I mean, I still kind of have a little gap right here, and I'm like, maybe I need to put something right there, but yeah, I was like Elm Street with the Freddy slicing through it right there, and it looks all dirty. I was like, perfect. So got that for sure. What's going on, Lane? What's going on? I hope you're doing great. Love me some WBD PR. I know you get off on this shit. That's for damn sure. Eric Patterson, what's happening? Good to see you. We got Anna right here. Always great to see you. Tony Movie Chappie, D9 Neil Blomkamp fan. Rest in peace. Michelle Trachtenberg, one of the celebrities' death besides Robin Williams that really hit hard. Yeah, man. I mean, I tell you, that just was like out of nowhere. But yeah, I was gonna, you brought it up right now. That's perfectly fine. It's Wine Wednesday, so I'll raise one up for her because, man, 39 years old. Holy Lord. So cheers to her, man. She was in numerous things. I mean, I was a Nickelodeon, she was, 2 years younger than me? I remember like Harriet the Spy. I remember watching that movie. She was in the Inspector Gadget movie. She played Penny. And she was just in a lot of things. And then there was like a little gap. And then she showed up in Eurotrip. And it was like, holy Lord. How could you not even just be like, wow. And then, of course, I know I wasn't a big Buffy person. But I watched episodes every now and again. I know like a lot of people know her from Buffy. But yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to the tweets and stuff like that. But yeah, may she rest in peace. That was quite a shocker right there. Shane O, greetings everyone. Very disappointing news for today of how everyone was so close. Looking forward for another DC character game besides Batman. I know. Plus, I wonder what's the secret project. That is true. Let's see who else we got. Especially conclusion open. Oh, we got Kenneth right here. Hope your Wednesday's going well. Yeah, can't complain. Like I said, Southern California, it's February. Got to 87 degrees today. So we've had some it's kind of been nice because obviously, a lot of the country was just, getting that freaking Arctic fart, that Canada Arctic fart. I know it's not from Canada, but I just like to say it is. But, there's like an Arctic, just like full on fart that just is like, that was consuming most of the United States. And it wasn't touching. We were getting the hot fart because I'm like, my God, 87 degrees. It got to 87. But in the next week, then all of a sudden it's like, okay, here comes some more cold. Yeah, we've been having some, a fairly nice winter. We've had some dips. It's like the stock market, man. It's been like the stock market when it comes to California weather. And it got to 87 degrees today in February. And then now it's going to start dip. And then it's going to be like a high of in the 50s, 60s and stuff, low 60s. So crazy. And then, of course, what up? What's going on in Indiana? Jake. And we got Johnny Rampage. All right. Always great to see you guys and being excited and everything. So, yeah. Good to see you guys. All right. Oh, she was an Inspector Gadget. Yeah, I know. Hey, I have a little love for that. Matthew Broderick. I mean, they try to do something there with that Inspector Gadget movie. But, again, guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that thumbs up. And everything, and hopefully you guys are doing pretty well. Like I said, still getting used to the new place, but I think I pretty much. This week, obviously being the second week here, has been a lot better when it comes to just settling in and then just making sure everything's good and just kind of getting back into the routine. Now the routine, I was hoping that this week was going to be a normal week. I was hoping for that. I was like, oh yeah, after the first week of moving in, the second week will be normal when it comes to all this. Sadly, it is not going to be fully normal this week when it comes to streaming because, first off, Scott, my co-host, Scott McClellan, I just had a stroke right there. Did you guys see that? You witnessed that. A little bit of a stroke, but I'm okay right now. Or a glitch in the Matrix. I don't know. I'm actually going to tell you guys a little glitch in the Matrix moment that I actually wanted to talk about on Monday. And I'll talk about it in a little bit here. But so Scott McClellan is getting all his floors redone in his house, and it's not done yet. He is not in his house. He is staying at his in-laws. So we're going to have to postpone again because we had to postpone last week because I moved and I was exhausted. So no DC Fanimated stream tonight. So we'll still do a members only stream. We didn't do one last week, but we're going to do one tonight. But no DC Fanimated. We're going to push that another week. So yeah, another week without DC Fanimated. Sorry guys for anybody who fans of that stream. And then when it comes to the vodka stream, no vodka stream on Friday, going to push that to Saturday. That's right, a Saturday vodka stream, which I've done. And usually when I do a Saturday vodka stream, I invite, supporters of the channel like members and Patreon. Not going to do that quite yet. We'll do that in the future for sure. But basically, one of my good buddies, he's turning 40. He's turning 40, and he's having a little shindig at a brewery. And it's happening on Friday. So I said, no, I could postpone, and I'm not going to miss that because he knows I stream and stuff like that. So we're not going to have a vodka stream on Friday. Going to push that to Saturday at 7 o'clock. So vodka stream pushed a day. So things aren't quite exactly where we're not fully back to normal, but we'll get there, guys. We'll get there. Hey, we got Stephanie T and Jacob out there in the chat. Great to see ya. Great to see ya. But yeah, I did have speaking of like when I just said glitch in the Matrix, and sometimes, I fall into the rabbit hole of like going down rabbit holes of like videos and everything that talk about the simulation theory, because sometimes, let's face it, you're out and about, and when you interact with people or just things happen, you go, this is a fucking simulation, right? What the hell? Like you trip out. So obviously moving into the new place, we had to hook up the washer and dryer. We got a washer and dryer, but naturally it's a gas dryer. It's a gas dryer, so you have to hook it up to the line, to the gas line and everything like that. But sadly, the hookup was too big. It was too big to hook up to the nozzle that was coming out of the wall. So I went to Home Depot because I'm like, oh, you have to have like a little adapter that adapts the size where I can hook up the washer and dryer. So I walk in there and I walk to the aisle where, the washer and dryer and all this kind of stuff is. And as I'm walking up, I shit you not, I mean, this was last Friday. It was last Friday. I walk up and literally an older couple is asking one of the Home Depot people the exact same thing that I needed. They were like, do you have like a little adapter? They had both their little hoses and everything. And I'm walking up and I'm like, wait, it's exactly what what the F? It was just very strange. What are the odds, guys? What are the odds? On a random Friday, this is probably about, I don't know, 3:45, 3:50, almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm at this Home Depot on a Friday looking for like a little, thing that I can adapt because I have two different hoses that have two different connecting sides. And I walk into Home Depot and this older couple is looking for the exact same thing as I'm walking up. I'm like, what the hell? It's just crazy. I don't know. Sometimes I just think we're in a simulation. And I think you guys feel like that too, right? Sometimes. Anyways, I'm rambling and just sharing some crazy nonsense. But good to see you guys. Hopefully we'll have some fun tonight. And hey, guess what? Look what's happening in the MCU when it comes to the Punisher and Jon Bernthal. That's right. We're going to get some more Jon Bernthal. Solo Jon Bernthal Punisher right here. He, of course, is going to be showing up in Daredevil Born Again, but he's also going to show up in his very own special. That's right. Jon Bernthal will be co-writing the Punisher special for Marvel Studios. So remember, like they have like those little one-time specials, like the werewolf and those kind of specials or something like that. But what's great is Jon Bernthal is actually going to be writing. He's going to be writing it with Ronaldo Marcus Green. Who's going to be directing, described as a shotgun blast of a story, but also has all the pathos and emotion. Hell freaking yeah. Come on. Whoops. Still had that on. I mean, come on. That's going to be great. That's going to be great right there. So at least we got that to look forward to after Daredevil Born Again, Like I said, the MCU, Marvel Studios, they need some wins. They need some wins because they just... Well, let's face it, you know, that one movie with the Captain America guy with the wings, yeah, sadly that not doing so well. Not doing so well, but, you know, so this is definitely a win. God knows, I don't know when exactly this is actually going to be coming out. Obviously, they haven't shot it yet. They're co-writing it. Probably not going to be out till next year, but yeah. So got a little MCU goodness right there, because I'm just so happy that they're embracing John Bernthal's Punisher. And then, guys, I don't know if you guys, you know what? I'm going to bring this up. I've probably talked about this before on the stream. I mean, I've been doing this stream for, you know, a few years, and even the vodka stream. I don't, you know, we probably talked about this, but anytime I see this on my feed, when I see, you know, because I follow various, like, movie Twitter handles, and I'll just post stuff like that, but anytime I see this, it always just baffles my mind. It's crazy. It's crazy that this was actually a thing. And it's the fact that Jean-Claude Van Damme, he was the Predator. That's right. The Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, the first Predator movie, he was actually the Predator when they started filming. He was cast to be in a very hot and stupid costume because it was a different design. So anytime I see this, I just go, wow. And look at that right there. I mean, there he is. Look at how unhappy he looks. Look at how unhappy. A young Jean-Claude Van Damme. He was already starting to get like some, you know, some notoriety. And then he gets this gig and it's like, what the F? You can look, I mean, look at both these images. He just looks so unhappy. So unhappy. And then you got the footage right there.
Jean-Claude comes in for his fittings, and we know that in the beginning of the movie, remember the cloaking device? Where he's kind of, beautiful effect for its day. But we had to, for the beginning of the shoot, make a red version.
They had to make a red version because they had to make him look,
in the jungle. So Jean-Claude comes in, and we're fitting him in this red suit, and just assuming, like the slaves that we are, that the higher-ups have told him exactly what's going on. But he thought this was actually the real look of the monster in the movie. And he goes, I hate this, I look like a superhero. And he was so angry about it. I'm like, Jean-Claude, did no one tell you? It's a cloaking device. You're invisible for half the picture. This is not you, which made him even angrier. Because he thought he could do his martial arts. He could fight Arnold Schwarzenegger. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. He didn't realize that he was just kind of a stuntman, right? We get him out there for the first shot, and he's just seething. We got him in a lawn chair, and you can see his eyes through the rubber muscles of the neck. And he's like, I hate this head. I hate it.
So crazy. Just so crazy. How much they actually shot. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, you know, it's funny how we talk about the struggles for movie studios now, but the struggles that happened back then. The struggles that happened back then with certain movies, when you think about it. When you think about a movie like The Predator, where they had Jean-Claude Van Damme, who was already starting to get notoriety, he was starting to become a name, gets this gig thinking it was something else. And they completely scrapped that design and that idea, and he dropped out. And of course, that was probably smart, because he dropped out and then ended up building up a career of his very own, which was great. But and then of course they redesigned the Predator, which looked, obviously it's the iconic Predator that we see now. But it's just crazy. I mean, remember like Back to the Future, you know, obviously one of my all-time favorite movies, a lot of people's all-time favorite movies. Eric Stoltz, they shot like half the movie with Eric Stoltz as Marty McFly, and then they were just like, this is not working. He sees it differently. Now we got to reshoot it with Michael J. Fox. I mean, the struggles is, I mean, that's why when we talk about all these things that happen with studios now, today, we just get it in real time. You didn't hear about any of this shit back in the day. So crazy. I just always get baffled by that whole thing. And you could just tell that he was just not happy. You know what's awesome though? It's crazy to think about, but this year, 2005. What happened in 2005, guys? Well, the Revenge of the Sith came out. And obviously, I think objectively, or a majority of people would say that when it came to the Star Wars prequels, that was the best one, right? That was the best prequel. I think we can all kind of agree on that. I mean, the prequels are watchable, and then of course now that when you watch the sequel trilogy, a lot of people just go like, I prefer the prequels. It's so funny. But Revenge of the Sith always like, I don't know, for a lot of us kind of was like great. But Cakes Comics created this little poster right here to celebrate the 20th anniversary. That is sexy. That's sexy right there. That's pretty sexy. I mean, and it's like, it's landscape. It's a landscape poster too. Just, yeah. It's got everything right there. Just all the build up. Look at all that. And the Vader helmet and everything. But, yeah, I saw this and I was like, no. I mean, come on. Can I put that on my entire wall? I'll just put it behind me now. Maybe right there. I don't know. But I'm just saying. That's a poster. I mean, yeah. Jesus Christ. Good job. And then another good poster, too, because I always love it when artists take it upon themselves to take iconic posters from iconic films, especially way back in the day, and then they add a little flavor to it where maybe they add a little superhero. And North by Northwest, obviously the Alfred Hitchcock movie. If you guys remember the poster, it's like, you got what's his name, like running away from a plane. There's always that iconic scene, like he's in like that cornfield or whatever the hell on that road, and you got that plane that's chasing after him. And so that was the very poster that they used. But how about we take that concept and add it to the Flash? Look at that. Look at that. Yes. That's pretty sweet. I just thought that was kind of cool. I love it when they do that. And if you're wondering, there's the 65th anniversary poster right there. Ooh, Cary Grant. There you go. Couldn't remember. I was like, wait, Cary Grant? Jon Stewart? I was like, what? Yeah. So that's just pretty sweet. I love that. I love it when they do something like that. Convert it. And finally, guys, Jesus Christ. Finally, because I heard about, they shot this movie, it was during COVID. I think they shot this movie, in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. But we finally got our first little teaser trailer for HAVOC. That's right. Gareth Evans, who of course directed The Raid, Tom Hardy starring. We finally got the first trailer, and it looks pretty damn awesome. I just wish I could see it on the big screen. God damn it, Netflix. But yeah.
I just came from a crime scene. 9 bodies.
This is looking pretty good right here.
You and your friends go down.
You got Timothy Olyphant in there, and of course Forrest Whitaker.
What brings you boys here? We didn't want to miss out on all the fun.
This is my town.
Look at Tom Hardy acting like a badass. He's always been a badass, but
What you did. You have no idea what I did.
April 25th. All right, I'm all set right there for that. Dave, you could see it on the big screen, but it's not. Oh, is that what it is? Well, I guess I could drive out to the Egyptian theater and go watch that. Pretty crazy. I didn't think about that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so, yeah, finally, I remember hearing about the movie. I was like, all right, both of those two together, Gareth Evans. You always get it, like, mixed up. Gareth Edwards, Evans, yeah. Gareth Evans. And, of course, directing The Raid. Come on. It's going to have some good fight choreography and stuff like that, so. And then, yes, guys, Michelle Trachtenberg, crazy. This was announced basically, this morning at like 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock this morning. And it's kind of, it's interesting because obviously there's always like reactions to it. I had no idea. I didn't know what happened. I had, like I said, when it came to her, like when I was a kid, her being on various like shows, like I said, 2 years younger than me. And so I kind of followed her a little bit. And then of course, you know, when she grew up and you kind of go, oh my God, yeah, that's, you know, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But then, you know, you don't know what happens when it comes to all that. And apparently, like when it came to her and posting on social media, she was not looking that great. I didn't know about any of this, and a lot of people were like, geez, what's going on with her and stuff like that. And then of course people like want to like jump to conclusions. I mean, even me myself, like when I saw this from the New York Post, when I saw that she passed away, you know, obviously I didn't watch Gossip Girl, but Harriet the Spy I totally did. And then they said, start troubling posts, and then you kind of look at them and you go, well, didn't seem like troubling so much, but yeah, you kind of notice. And then people are, you know, immediately you go, oh my God, was she another victim of, okay, she grew up in the Hollywood machine, that stuff happened when it came to her and stuff like that. But then if you like read the details, she did get a liver transplant. I don't know if she had like an illness or what was going on with that, but apparently that probably had something to do with it. But yeah, man, it's just sad. Gone way too soon. Way too soon. Way too soon. So hopefully, I mean, we're probably going to get more details. I know. We can't, you know, have we not learned from Chadwick Boseman? Because, yeah, you just kind of go like, my first thought was like, was there something going on with that? But I was like, I don't want to say anything. I'm not going to jump to those conclusions. And then when the detail came out about a liver transplant, I was like, okay, might have been something right there. But of course, people just want to like immediately go, oh, there's because of this, because of that. Yeah, don't do that. Wait, you got to wait. You got to wait for more details. You got to wait for more details. So Christopher Nolan always seemed, you know, we've heard about Christopher Nolan always wanting to direct a James Bond film. And for a minute there, we actually thought that maybe he's actually going to direct a James Bond film. Can you imagine that, guys? Can you imagine that? But then you start going like, oh, man, this is going to be Christopher Nolan again, playing in the toy box of someone else's toys, you know? And that's the only thing when it comes to now these directors that we love so much. And when they start playing with other people's toys, we just kind of go like, maybe that's just not going to work out. I mean, it did once, obviously, when he played with the Batman toys. It ended up working, but would it work now that he's this huge name? Would it work now if he actually played with the James Bond toys? Christopher Nolan was interested in directing a James Bond movie after doing Tenet, but was told he wouldn't get a say on decisions for the film's final cut. He went and directed Oppenheimer instead. Well, I think we actually won with that one, and I think, you know, Christopher Nolan big time won with that one, I would say, right? So it kind of worked out. Now, will it happen in the future? Most likely not, because we of course heard that, you know, Ms. Broccoli and the owners of the rights of James Bond is now basically creative control is now with Amazon, and we're probably expecting that there is going to be some kind of like, oh yeah, we're going to freaking let's just squeeze out all we can when it comes to this. But that's the thing. That when we talk about, like when you talk about your favorite directors wanting to direct, you know, a CBM or just an existing IP, the fact of the matter is the owner of the IP, you know, might not give you everything that you want. We've seen this numerous times. Come on. Do I have to say, when you have a director that you like playing in the sandbox of like someone else's playground, and then all of a sudden they start looking at going, hey, I don't know if I like that. That's why sometimes I'm just like, no, I don't want Quentin Tarantino to freaking direct, you know, a Star Trek movie or a CBM, because he's not going to be able to do what he wants to do. Now Christopher Nolan's got to the point where he always is going to have final cut. You're not going to have final cut on James Bond? Then fuck that. Fuck that. You know? I'd rather him do his original stuff. Or if he can actually, you know, do, you know, obviously Odyssey, what he's doing next is not his, but he's going to be able to do whatever he wants with that. So that's good. I think it worked out for the best. Anybody live in Brooklyn? Because if you live in Brooklyn, and if you like to go to McDonald's, well, apparently, when it comes to McDonald's right here, Brooklyn McDonald's starts carding people underage at the door. That's right, under the age of 20 right here. Can you believe this? Because there's been so much crime at this McDonald's that now you have to show your idea to get a fucking McMuffin. Huh? Wow. This is where we've gotten, folks. Wow. Couldn't believe this when I saw it. Here's the thing. Don't eat McDonald's. How about that? Just don't eat McDonald's. Just don't. Don't. You could probably make your own, like, McMuffin, like, by yourself. You get the ingredients and stuff like that. You get stuff. It's going to be cheaper, obviously, because, you know, things kind of suck. But my God, there's been so much crime that they're going to card. There's going to be a bouncer, like some big dude at the door that's going to be checking IDs. He's going to have that. Is he going to have that special, like, UV light, you know, thing where he's making sure that the ID is actually legit? That's insane. That's absolutely insane. Well, what can you do? Oh, okay, we'll talk about that. Nah. So The Boys, final season. The Boys, final season. And, goddamn, why can't I remember his name right now? Jesus Christ, my name, it's eluding me right now. I'm just totally drawing blanks on all my mind went blank right now, guys. Who plays, what's his name? I don't even know. Man, my brain's gone. He was in Supernatural. He plays fucking, yeah, Jansen Ackles. Thank you. Jesus Christ. I couldn't remember his name. I'm like, Jesus Christ, the guy who, like, has been fan cast as Batman all the time. My God, I just was like, totally, yeah, plain Soldier Boy. Man, I just had one of those, like, my brain was like, nope, I'm going to shut off right now. You're on neutral. Hoy. But anyways, he posted this video right here to let it be known that there's going to be a Supernatural reunion.
Hey, Jared, we got work to do. Again.
Okay. I'll tell Misha. Misha, we got work to do.
Okay. What are we doing?
There you go. So, there you go. A little Supernatural reunion that's going to be happening for The Boys. Final season right there. And thank you guys for helping me out with that. Man, I just totally... Jesus Christ. I mean, like I said, if I were to have a top 5 of DCU Batman actors, you know, he's still up in there. And yeah, guys, I know we have Final Destination Bloodlines coming out. And I did talk about how I did a rewatch over the weekend of the 5 movies that are in Final Destination, which, you know, every one of them I can enjoy. The 4th one being the worst for sure. But, you know, Final Destination I think is like one of the most unique horror franchises, and I'm glad that we're actually going to be getting more and curious about it. But my God, my freaking God, something happened. And I didn't even know this was a thing, but I don't think I would actually do this for sure. But I was like, when I saw this report right here, I was like, you know what? I think the writers of Final Destination, especially if they're going to do a follow-up after Bloodlines, yeah, they might have figured out their opening scene. So we have this right here, right? So you can pay to, attend this bar. This is a bar that gets lifted up by a crane, and you get strapped in there, right? Who the F would want to do this? I don't know. So you get in there, and guess what happened? The support for the whole thing, something happened where it kind of, what? Wait for it. Something weird's going on. Oh shit!
Oh, shake it.
That's right. What? Oh God. I mean, this seems like the opening for Final Destination right here, doesn't it? Yeah. F that. Now, nobody was hurt, just one of the little cables kind of went, so it started shaking and tilting, and then they brought him down safely. So nobody was hurt or anything, but first off, why the F are you going to be doing that? What is wrong with just, ground level sitting at a bar and getting drunk? Do I need to be lifted up like 50 feet into the air? Probably more than that. I don't even know. Why? I don't need to do that. I mean, imagine being a bartender right there. You have that, you're harnessed in. You're like you're going to be going like you're going to be like, jumping out of a plane into like foreign territory to take on some people doing a secret mission. You're like strapped in. So you're going to be making drinks while you have this harness. No. I'm good. I'm absolutely good. Now, I'm not going to do that shit. And this is exciting too, but looks like, it did get postponed, but Steven Spielberg is actually going to be going back into the alien UFO, route. Obviously he did Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which is a classic, a movie that scared me when I was a kid. I'm not going to lie. It scared me. But it also gave me fascination when it came to the genre of all that. And not to mention, going down rabbit holes and wanting to know if, hey, is there shit out there? I believe there's something. I don't know if it's out there, if it's, I don't know. Who knows? You can go down a bunch of rabbit holes. But I'm glad that Steven Spielberg is getting back into the genre. Obviously, the remake of War of the Worlds, I think, is absolutely fantastic. But he has begun to film his untitled UFO film. That's right. We don't even know what it is. But I'm excited, and Emily Blunt's in it. And there she is right there on the set. And there he is with her. God knows what they're filming. It looks like they're filming some kind of scene where people are freaking out. We got somebody right here with like toilet paper or paper towels. And you know how people freak out. Anytime there's something that happens, that people start going for that fucking toilet paper or paper towels. I don't know. But that's begun filming right there. So that's cool. Kind of curious of what that's going to be called. I don't know. I really don't know. Nobody knows. But we'll see. But yeah. Looks pretty sweet. All right. That's all the tweets we got for you right there. Now let's get to the topics. Let's get to some topics right there. I don't think there's anything new. Yeah, nothing new. I'm just looking, just making sure that there's nothing new that dropped. I think you guys would probably let me know. Sounds about right. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about some DCU news, and like I said, it is Wine Wednesday, so cheers, guys. Good. All right, DCU news. Hey, let's start off with some Peacemaker Season 2, right? I know you guys are excited for that, because we got a new image of that character that you guys love oh so much, and that's John Economos. That's right. Did you guys know that it's his birthday today? I know, some people don't care, and some people, whatever, but it is kind of interesting, though, because James Gunn did post this right here when it came to that very character, and then, of course, Steve Agee. Happy anniversary to one of my favorite characters, John Economos, created by John Ostrander and Luke McDowell. And in a strange coincidence today, also happens to be the birthday of the actor who plays him, my pal, Steve Agee. And, of course, we'll see Peacemaker Season 2 this August. Hey, Steve Agee, he's a nice gentleman. I've had him on the Vodka stream. I had him on the Vodka stream when Peacemaker Season 1 came out. And very nice dude. Turns out he's lived in similar areas that I have. So we had a nice little conversation. Go ahead and, if you want to go back and see that interview, nice dude. Very nice dude. Very nice dude. So... yeah, I know. And of course I got hell for that because a lot of people are like, oh, see, this is the only reason why he's doing this stuff is to get access. Yeah, that's the only reason why I talk about this stuff and defend this stuff, guys, is because I want to get access. That's what it is. Yeah, I got a lot of that. I got a lot of that flack. But no, I just got the opportunity to interview somebody and had a very nice conversation with somebody. You know, something that some of these guys should probably think about doing. Have a nice conversation with somebody every now and again. Not just bitch and moan and complain and be miserable with people all the time. So maybe I'll get them on again. That could be fun. Get Steve Agee on here again. Could be fun. But yeah, so he posted that image right there. And then there is a rumor out there, guys. There is a rumor. Obviously, we got the Clayface movie that's going to start filming this year, which I'm very much excited for, and did not think I would ever get a Clayface solo movie. But I'm like, wow, no, it just seems perfect. Then when you see who wrote the goddamn movie, you go, okay, that's even more perfect. And the fact of the matter is like, okay, so there's still going to be things that are going to trickle out. It's obviously confirmed. It's going to be R-rated. That's right, guys. You know, everybody who said that James Gunn's just going to Disney-fy and Marvel Studio-fy the DCU, all of a sudden we're getting another R-rated project, an R-rated Clayface movie. I'm sure that's what a lot of people thought was going to happen. Definitely is happening, which is great because I think that's a story that they could really do some cool things with. And, you know, when the first Joker movie came out, I was just like, man, how many other Batman villains can we do that could just be something pretty magical? Because I think DC, anything when it comes to the DC property, you could really do something with it. But there is a rumor that they might have, you know, an actor in mind, and that is Daniel Radcliffe. That's right. Reportedly one of two names being eyed for Basil Carlo in James Watkins' Clayface. Harry Potter himself playing Basil Carlo? But you guys know I hate that fucking source. Okay, you saw the source, right? You saw that source? Mr. Snyder. And Snyder. Okay? Anytime I see that, I go, nope. Not even going to tweet about it or talk about it, stuff like that. But there's somebody I do more trust when it comes to certain scoops and everything like that. And that's this individual right here called the Apocalyptic Horseman. Very much trust this individual way more. And this is what he had to say about this rumor. For the record, Clayface casting is on pause because James Watkins still hasn't officially signed on to direct yet. Watkins is going to have input on it. I wouldn't trust any casting rumors for now. Thank you. So, not officially signed on yet. Okay? So, those reports are even shit. That he was like, oh, yeah, he's definitely doing it. But apparently he hasn't officially signed on yet. Most likely will. Sounds like it's like might almost be like a Lucas situation where there are people going, Lucas hasn't signed on yet. There hasn't been anything announced yet. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, yeah, he's in. They just got to find the actor now. And I'm like, all right, good. And then, of course, a lot of people, and again, too, and I'm just going, yeah. And like, remember when people were just going, oh, yeah. Gunn is just, you know, he's the one that's casting everybody. And now it seems like he wants to have the director also have input on who's going to be casting Mr. Carlo right here. So, I don't know. I mean, Daniel Radcliffe, I've seen him in things obviously outside of Harry Potter, and I think he's a talented actor. I mean, he did good as Weird Al. That was a fun movie. I'm a diehard Weird Al fan. I was, you know. Love his stuff, and I thought he did a great job when it came to Weird Al. So maybe you could do something with that. Who knows? But don't, you know, that's just a scoop that might just disappear into nothing. Don't trust it. All right. Then one of the things I actually wanted to talk about was James Gunn mentioned, I guess, obviously, when it comes to, a lot of things are still trickling out. Well, a lot of things, I mean, pretty much everything that's trickled out from the DC press event that happened on Friday, Saturday, whenever it was, things are still kind of trickling out when it comes to information and things that Gunn and Safran talked about. I don't know if this was like exactly what this was, but this was actually going around. And of course, naturally, because it's James Gunn, there's a discourse. What? There's a discourse? Anytime something that comes out when it comes to James Gunn, there's a discourse? This shit you say. But yes, there's a discourse. And this is the quote right here that when it came to certain writers of the DCU, quote from James Gunn, "There are writers we put on projects I wish I hadn't. But overall, I feel very lucky." So that was it right there. And of course, naturally, you hate James Gunn, you go like, what an asshole. And then if you don't hate James Gunn, you just go, okay, that sounds like something where maybe he didn't need to say that, but it's like, yeah. He's like, oh yeah, we're going to put you on this project. And then it was like, that script wasn't all that great. Okay. But then you always hear about like when he talks about, like Anna, what's her name? Talking about turning in that Supergirl script that was like, oh, it blew me away. Obviously, Matt Flanagan turns in a Clayface script. Oh, my God. One of the best things ever, So there was that quote. There was that quote from James Gunn. But then, of course, the big thing, the big question, another quote. Let me find it so I can fully read it off right here. He talked to... So James Gunn talking to comicbook.com, this is what they reported when it comes to, obviously we've gotten a lot of the updates when it came to what happened at that press screening, or that press event that happened where obviously they announced some things, they updated on other things. He has this quote right here. The fact that there's another project, my favorite project nobody even knows about yet. It's been my favorite project for a few months. Nobody even knows it. So then I asked, I was like, okay, what could this project be? We don't know about it. It's his favorite project right now. Of course, getting away from all the discourse, because of course I had people in my mentions go, Jesus Christ, he likes to always talk about himself. And I'm like, he's talking about his favorite project. What the hell? And then of course they compared him to Kevin Feige. They compared him to Zach. They don't talk about like that. I'm like, okay, he's just talking about his own. Again, the nitpicking and the hyperbole is pretty crazy when it comes to, again, it's all amplified, guys. What did I say? 8 years ago, a decade ago, when I was defending Zach about his stuff, wasn't as crazy as it is like defending, James now, because everything's just so crazy amplified. It's insane. So I asked the question, I was like, what do you guys think? What could be this little secret project? And scrolling through, we have Liz Wonder, Miss Liz Wonder, you guys know who that is. She said it's probably going to be a Batmite comedy. And I was like, he has expressed Batmite. Let's see, something, and then I got a lot of this, something about an obscure DC character nobody but hardcore readers care about. That's what a lot of people said. They were like, yeah, which could be the case. He does like the obscure characters. That's why I'm like, maybe if he can turn it into something, that could be something. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy, nobody really knew who those guys were. Yeah, honestly, who cares, dude? As a diehard DC guy, he almost makes it insufferable to follow what's going on, and it just seems about him. He is just continuing the DC tradition of announcing and canceling as of now. Hopefully, he can prove me wrong. That's what somebody right there said also. And I was like, what has been canceled? And he was like, well, nothing. But, a lot of people are actually saying Green Arrow. I had a lot of responses saying Green Arrow or World's Finest. World's Finest. Somebody said, how many of your family members will star James Gunn? Something tells me that probably none. Again, that's just hyperbole because, you don't like the guy, you use hyperbole. Somebody says, I kind of love a time-jumping mystery movie of us discovering the magnitude of the DCU through this guy's eyes. And that is, of course, Jays, my brain. What's the dude that travels through time? The big baddie. My brain went blank again. Somebody tell me. I've said his name so many times. My brain immediately went to Craven. No, it's not Craven. Somebody help me out there, please. Monarch. No, the big baddie. God damn, I can't. With the beard and everything. I even said that it would be funny if Henry Cavill was him. Why is my brain not working today? Not Reverse Flash. Not Dr. Fate. Come on. The big baddie with the beard. Not Ebert Thorne. No. God damn it. I am totally my Vandal Savage. Thank you. Jesus Christ. Man, brain is just not working today. Probably because my daytime job just like didn't help me out. Anyway, so continuing, somebody said maybe Legion of Superheroes. Could it be something Palm Clinative is attached to? He never talked about any particular material he wanted to tackle with her, but he did mention he spoke to her about joining the DCU, and she also teased it. And yeah, I mean, it could be something like that. It's going to be some obscure DC comic, World's Finest. I bet you it's going to be something completely random that no one is expecting. More Green Arrow, more World's Finest, Green Arrow, World's Finest. Somebody even put Wonder Woman, which is kind of funny given the news. Scouting speech. They're going to study all kinds of answers and questions. Yeah, just kind of reading through. Yeah. A lot of people saying Green Arrow and all that. And then somebody said Animal Man. Probably be Animal Man. That's pretty funny. I don't know. To me, I'm just kind of like, man, a World's Finest would be crazy. I don't know if that's going to be it. It probably will be something that is not totally like an A-list character. I don't know. But you never know. You never know. And he did tease the fact that the DCU Batman could possibly be showing up in something else. Now, I just assumed that it would be like Clayface, and maybe he will. I hope he does. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, when is this DCU Batman going to officially show up? And if he's already writing something that maybe he's like, maybe I want to do like a World's Finest kind of thing where we get the introduction to Batman again through a Superman sequel. But this time it's not that they're going to fight each other. This time they're actually going to work with each other, but of course have their differences. I don't know. Again, I would not hate a Batman and Superman team up again. You know? I don't know. We'll see. Just saying. God, that James Gunn copying Zack Snyder as he does. Jesus Christ. How dare he? How dare he? I don't know if that's going to be, is that going to be chapter 1 or is it chapter 2? Who knows? Wonder Woman fans are not happy. They are not happy. So the Wonder Woman video game, this thing has been in development hell, seems like, for I don't know how many years. Remember when we saw like our first images, our first like video for the Wonder Woman game? It felt like it was back in 2017. I don't know. I felt like it was a long time ago, but apparently it was like 2019, right? It was like 6 years ago that we got that footage or something. I don't know. It felt like it was way longer ago. But yeah, I mean, it looked good for the most part. You know, she's doing the lasso and all this kind of stuff. So it was just like, it was cool. It was like, all right, we got a Wonder Woman game coming out. Sweet. And I mean, you want to talk about when people complain about the fact that movie studios reveal like their slate or announce or talk about when they talk about future movies or they talk about stuff. Jesus Christ, what happens when it comes to video games? And sometimes they tease like footage and they tease all this kind of stuff. I mean, when was the last time we heard anything about that Wolverine fucking video game? Remember when that got teased? And I'm like, what's the update on that? Hopefully that comes out. But again, I get it because video games take a lot longer to produce than movies because there's just a lot that goes into it for sure. But it's just like, I totally forgot until like, I mean, obviously there's been mentions of it, but I totally was just like, what, that Wonder Woman game is still actually a thing? Is that actually going to be a thing? But yeah, if we remember correctly too, and here's this little description. In development by Monolith Productions, creators of the critically acclaimed Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor and sequel Middle-earth Shadow of War, this open-world action-adventure game will feature the beloved DC superhero Wonder Woman. The single-player open-world action game will introduce an original story set in the DC universe and allow players to become Diana of Themyscira in the fight to unite her Amazon family and the humans from the modern world. Powered by Nemesis System, gamers will forge deep connections with both enemies and allies as they progress from a heroic fighter into a proven leader. So that was the description right there. Sounded all great. And yeah, all of a sudden that happened. And yeah, Wonder Woman fans were not happy. Of course, a lot of people weren't happy. And immediately what happens? They start pointing the fingers. Who did this? Was it you? It was you. Of course, a lot of people pointing at James Gunn. It was James Gunn. You canceled it. Somehow I doubt that that's actually the case, especially when you see this tweet right here. Warner Brothers Games is shutting down Monolith Productions, Player First Games, and WB San Diego. Sources tell Bloomberg News. Warner Brothers is also canceling the Wonder Woman game. Yeah, again, I don't think Mr. Gunn has anything to do with that, but go ahead if you want to get upset with him. By all means, do it. It's fine. I don't know. It seems like this thing was just like in weird development hell when it comes to all this. And then we got Gail Simone. She had herself a little tweet thread commenting about the canceling of the game right here, because turns out, hey, she was a consultant on it, so maybe we should listen to her. Okay, regarding the Wonder Woman video game, others have already revealed elsewhere that I was a consultant on this game, so that cheetah is out of the bag. I want to say a couple important things about the game and the team who made it. So first off, starting right here, I was asked to do long-term consulting on the game, and I was thrilled to do it. It was a perfect storm of stuff I adore. Wonder Woman video games and one of my favorite game studios, Monolith, who produced the game, of course, the Mordor games, and that was she was completely addicted to. The game was gorgeous and expansive. It was beautiful to look at, and I am not going to give details for a number of reasons, but every effort was made to make this not just a great game, but a great Wonder Woman game, a showpiece epic. And all of that was because of the team. Everyone who worked on it brought their A game, programmers, artists, designers, everyone. I don't know that I have ever worked with a team that cared more about making sure the end product was perfect. It was a dream come true. Wonder Woman had a dream team, and they put their all into it. They made sure it had Wonder Woman and DC lore on every aspect of the game. It was a thrill and honor to work with them. I know there's a lot of finger pointing going on, but everyone I worked with from Monolith to WB both was enthusiastic and supportive. Everyone wanted to make the best game ever. Sometimes you give your all and it doesn't work out. But that was an amazing team, and I can only hope they continue to make brilliant games. Someone is going to snap them all up and set a new industry standard. I know it. So I love that. I love that too. I love that she put that. She's been a name that's been associated to the DC universe. So good to hear her say stuff like that, when it comes to all that. Seems like she had a good relationship when it came to WB Games and Monolith. But it seems like, with the way things are right now, especially in the video game world, I mean, look what happened when it came to Justice League versus the Suicide Squad. It seems like they cheesed that up and dropped the bomb on that. I'm sure that's James Gunn's fault. I don't know. Some people probably think it's Zack Snyder's fault. I don't know. I just, of course, have been seeing all kinds of things. Obviously, the diehard Gunn people and the diehard Snyder people had to make it about themselves. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's just the way you see it, because, you had, of course, I mean, I have this tweet right here that I want to read that I bookmarked, because I was like, oh boy. I mean, it was just like you had two sides of the spectrum right here. Did I fucking, damn it. Did I forget to, I guess I didn't bookmark it. Whoops, I forgot to bookmark it. Hold on, I know where it was. Because I saw somebody retweet it. Ah, man, what the heck? Where's the, okay, there we go. Let me look, because I saw this tweet right here, and it was just kind of like, oh, wow. Okay, so here we go. They retweeted this right here, and this got blown up right here. Okay, here's the tweet right here. Because basically giving a checklist of pushing back against somebody who was a diehard Snyder fan. So we'll just have that right there. But I'll read it off to you right here, because I just thought it was pretty funny. Because again, it was like, Jesus Christ, you guys are really just making it about, yourselves. And I'm like, can we just listen to the people who are involved and the people like Gail that actually brought light to all this and talked about it, talked about positivity as opposed to negativity. So there's a checklist right here. So quote tweeting a certain individual who had meltdowns about all kinds of stuff, diehard Snyder fan, made videos, pushed back on people, having like little meltdowns, seeing the stuff like that. Really not the great way to, put your arguments out there. It just doesn't really quite work. That individual said Zack Snyder was the only person who gave a damn about Wonder Women. I'm sure he meant Wonder Woman, but he had to leave because Batman and Superman hurt people. Fuck you all. So doing that thing, fuck you all. It's cape shit, guys. Let's relax a little bit. But fuck you all. But I'm like, I love it too because everybody just kind of goes, like, yeah, Zack totally did. He totally brought her into modern day, made her a warrior, made her badass. And then he handed it off to Patty Jenkins, who continued that. Nobody talks about Patty Jenkins. People just like hate Patty Jenkins now. I mean, yeah, Wonder Woman 84. Yeah, maybe that left a bad taste in people's mouths, but I don't know. It's just kind of funny where it's like, well, wait a minute. That first Wonder Woman was pretty damn good. I mean, Jesus Christ. It was pretty damn good. But then the person that wanted to quote tweet and shit on what Zack did said right here. So here's the list right here. Cast a Zionist for Wonder Woman because now Gal Gadot is a Zionist because she's Israeli and, of course, have support for Israel. So naturally, we just put that title on there and people just follow suit. They just go, yeah, she's a bad person and we're going to put that on her. Just like when, just that whole little thing where it's like, oh, yeah, she's a bad person, that's a bad, and all this kind of stuff. And then people just like kind of turned on her and whatever the fuck. But yeah, cast a Zionist because that's what Zack was trying to do, right? It's cast a Zionist. He was like, oh, I need a Zionist for Wonder Woman. Who we got? Who's a Zionist out there? And Gal Gadot was like, me. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then the next thing was uses the worst origin of the character. When the hell did he use the worst origin? His origin they did not use. His origin was, of course, where she was going around and cutting people's heads off and doing all this stuff, and it was very R-rated and everything like that. They did not use that. They went for the World War I version that Patty Jenkins used, so they did not even use that. Turns the Amazons into Kryptonians. This was the biggest thing I kept seeing for people trying to push back onto this, like mainly gun fans who hate Zack Snyder. They were trying to utilize the idea that he talked about 2 years ago at Full Circle when he said that they had this whole idea. Remember when DJ brought it up that, oh yeah, they were possibly saying like, no, the gods aren't, they're not really gods. It could be like Kryptonian. It could be all linked up when it comes to like that. They were just toying with the idea and they talked about it. Didn't quite utilize it. I mean, maybe if you actually watch like the trilogy, maybe there's like some things that maybe Zack was like, well, maybe there's a little bit in there, when it came to like Zeus and all that kind of stuff and all the maybe there could have been something like that. That still was kind of in there, but not really. It was an idea that didn't get fully used. And I've been seeing that a lot where people are trying to use that as a counter argument to what Zack did. And I was like, ridiculous. Next thing says, turns her into a murderous vigilante because The Edge. Did we ever see her as a murderous vigilante? Anyone? I don't know. The appearances that Gal Gadot and Wonder Woman had, I don't remember her as a murderous vigilante. Do you? I don't think so. Doesn't seem like it. That's a little strange. And then the last thing is absolutely hilarious. Planned to kill her off by fucking poison. And of course, utilized this little description from the storyboard that said, on Themyscira, Dr. Maru unleashes a chemical gas that covers the island and kills the Amazons, even Diana, who dies in her mother's arms. Maru dies herself, a sick and twisted smile on her face. Again, not a concept that was actually going to be used in the Justice League sequels. That was just something that they were toying with and they wrote on those storyboards. So I'm like, what the F, man? Like, what? What the F? So, so both sides of this argument right here. You got one person having a meltdown, because that's what I kept seeing from diehard Snyder fans, meltdowns of stuff, saying all this kind of stuff. And then you had the counter arguments, and then using the arguments of ideas that were not actually used to shit on Zack. And I'm like, come on. Just because he was trying to do something a little bit different, just like what everybody does when it comes to these characters in the movie space or in the live action space, you can't have a perfect adaptation. You can't have that. There's going to be things that have been, worked around and changed and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with thinking like, maybe we could do it like this. It's happened many times. Does it always work? No. And they didn't actually go with those concepts. That's what's so crazy. They didn't actually go with those concepts. It didn't, But again, everybody just has a bias because, if James Gunn's going to end up changing some things, there's going to be people that hate him that are going to do the same thing because people just have a bias. They just have this derangement syndrome towards these individuals. It's crazy. Welcome to 2025 fandom, man. I tell you. And then people are trying to pass around, too, that Zack Snyder was trying to do there was like a whole thing where Wonder Woman gets she gets raped. She gets graped, I should say, I guess, to censor it. But yeah, there was like that whole thing. I was like, that was Mark Millar. And they were trying to tie it to Zack. And I was like, no, that was Mark Millar. Come on, guys. What are we doing here? And don't even get me started about like what Joss Whedon wanted to do. Remember his whole thing too. So yeah, fandom in a nutshell. I mean, it's just like extremes on both sides, but they had to make it about themselves. But in the meantime, you had Wonder Woman fans who were actual fans of video games looking forward to this thing that are very upset at all this stuff. But then, of course, they start going like, well, Jesus Christ, after the DCU press event, yeah, that's right. No mention of Wonder Woman. Huh. And I'm like, and a lot of people are going, oh, there's Paradise Lost. Yeah, well, that's an origin story. It's not going to have Wonder Woman in it. Okay, but don't you think that it's going to lead into it? And they're just going to do like a, it's going to lead into it. They're still going to have the Amazonians, and they're still going to lead into it. Oh, yeah, but who is fucking James Gunn? It's like, good Lord. Okay? They are very much... Paradise Lost, I think, is gonna set the stage for Wonder Woman, okay? Very much set the stage. I think we're gonna be okay when it comes to Wonder Woman. So, I think they're gonna set the actual stage when it comes to all this, so. I don't know. That's just what you see. I mean, you just have the past 24 hours. I've seen stupid Snyder fans, stupid Gunn fans that are just going at each other. And I just kind of just like, wow, you guys are having the worst arguments ever. Just absolute worst arguments. And then there's like a third option where you have just full-on Wonder Woman fans that are just like, come on. So, you gotta love it, right? So that's pretty much it. And of course, people say that James Gunn hates Wonder Woman. It's like, no, I don't think he does. Doesn't seem like that. But he fired Gal. No. Just like he didn't fire Henry Cavill. It's all just been crazy. But you know what else is crazy is David Zaslav. Apparently not too happy with two individuals who are heading the Warner Brothers film department that got hired on, which we all were excited for and thought that they would, I don't know, we'll see what would happen. And that, of course, is Michael DeLuca and Pam Abdi. Now, there was an article that came out from Bloomsburg, I think it was. It's hidden under the paywall. But essentially, when it came to just the cliff notes that was getting out there, which, of course, everything's always doom and gloom when it comes to Warner Brothers and DC, is the fact that David Zaslav not happy with those two because of Joker, because of the second Joker movie being such a big, huge bomb that he was like, what the hell are you guys doing? What's going on here? Not too happy. There's that whole thing. I mean, naturally, yes, somebody who actually is like running a company is probably not going to be too happy when you had the first movie be such a huge hit and then the second one just being a huge bomb. That should be a lesson to David Zaslav that, hey, maybe it's always not a good idea to do a sequel. Sometimes you just have lightning in a bottle and you're not going to capture it again. It's just not going to happen. But of course, they don't look at it like that. It's all in dollars and cents. You know, they're just looking at the money. They're looking at the price tag. They're thinking, okay, we'll just pump more money into this, reinvest, and the thing's going to fucking take off. We're going to make even more money. Didn't quite happen. Although, again, I still think Joker 2 is, you know, I thought it was a pretty decent follow-up. I think people are going to, like, come around years down the road and be like, you know what? This movie actually, you know, come on. If you break it down, not too bad. Just saying. Who knows when that'll happen? Could become a cult classic. Who knows? Maybe not anytime soon. I don't know. But, yeah. So, yeah, there's that whole thing. So, yeah, there was that whole article. And, of course, you know, everything's just doom and gloom with Warner Brothers, doom and gloom with DC Studios. It's all just doom and gloom. It's all just doom and gloom. So, I don't know. It all just seems like that. Yet he makes the Suicide Squad director in charge after it flopped. Yeah, but again, you have to look at all the stuff, Lane. Again, you know, you have to look at all the factors. I know it's hard to do that when you have James Gunn derangement syndrome. You're not going to look at all the factors. But, yeah, it's still, if you're going to have somebody lead a studio, you know, you want somebody who has that unique knowledge of comic books as the man does. That's all I'm saying. That's what I've been saying. And I'm like, yeah, if anybody's going to be doing this, that's also going to have big-time creative control. It's going to have to be somebody who has that unique knowledge. So I think that's what he was mainly looking at. He's probably mainly looking at the huge success of the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy and everything. So, again, you got to take in all the factors. I get it. You hate the guy. But, you know, got to take in all the factors. But, yeah, so we'll see what happens when it comes to all that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like I said, it's just like, it's going to take a while before Warner Brothers gets back into that flow of like, and hopefully this year will help that. I'm hoping that Mickey 17 movie I'm very much looking forward to is a huge hit. I don't know if it will be, but that would be cool if it's a huge hit. And, of course, hopefully Superman's a huge hit. I don't know. I'm just kind of very much looking forward to, like, okay, come on, Warner Brothers. Let's get back to where you were at one point. And, you know, but, of course, David Zaslav is probably just going to be like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to somebody else. I don't know who that's going to be, but you never know. Who knows? Monkey Jeebus, Lady Gaga is hot. Yeah, I agree with that. She is pretty damn hot. So there you go, guys. That's what's happening in that world right there. We'll see what happens. But, you know, yeah. Wonder Woman fans, I feel for you. Don't worry. But hopefully there'll be something else that comes out. Paradise Lost does sound like it's a winning idea. But like I said, don't think that it's just not. I mean, maybe if it's going to be a series, it's probably going to lead into maybe the second series is going to be like, oh, Diana's born. And then we start seeing the development of Wonder Woman and all that stuff, you know. It's slow burn. We don't need instant gratification. And I think that's actually a pretty good idea. When they announced Paradise Lost in the initial announcement, I thought, well, that's pretty cool. That could build up some momentum, you know, make it like Game of Thrones. That could really build up some momentum. But, yeah, we'll see what happens when it comes to that. All right. Let's go over to the other franchise, and that is Star Wars and Kathleen Kennedy. What? What is Kathleen Kennedy up to? Oh, yeah, we have another rumor. And how... It just seems like every, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months? How many times do we hear that Kathleen Kennedy is actually going to be leaving? It seems like it's always out there. It's always out there that Kathleen Kennedy is actually going to be leaving. And that was the big news, like yesterday, not early in the morning, but in the morning, that there was a lot of things where they were talking about that she's going to retire from Lucasfilm. And of course, I'm one of those that like thinks, yeah, maybe she should step down. Star Wars has been kind of lately. So maybe she should step down, get somebody else out there. But then, of course, who knows? Who knows? Things were reported. Everything was reported. I think the initial news report was from Puck News, and who knows how reliable all that was. And then you got CNN right here saying that the Star Wars chief is staying on at Disney despite the report that she's leaving, at least for now. Why? I mean, it's just... again, how many times do we hear that Kathleen Kennedy is actually going to be hanging up the fucking lightsaber and the, you know, how many times do we hear that? We hear that all the time, and that's just like, all right, how many times? But I mean, but at the same time, I'm going, well, it's probably going to happen anytime soon. And then, of course, people were going, well, who would actually take over Lucasfilm and who would actually take her spot? And, of course, Dave Filoni or whatever, he'd probably be the obvious choice, for sure. He would be the obvious choice, which I think, yeah, 100%. And then some people are saying, what about Kevin Feige? What? Kevin Feige? So he leaves the MCU and goes into Star Wars? That's interesting. What if he did? That'd be pretty crazy. I don't think that would be the case. But that would be weird if that's the case. And then, of course, people are going, well, who's going to take over the MCU? Well, that's obvious. Robert Downey Jr. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is going to, you know, he'll be the new Kevin Feige, of course. They'll reveal it at, you know, at D23 or Comic-Con or something. I don't know. No, that'd be crazy. But, yeah, some people said Jon Favreau. But I don't know. It is kind of interesting. Wouldn't that be? But, yeah, a lot of people were saying that maybe Kevin Feige would actually end up taking over. But, again, you know, like I said, it seems like every like 7 months we hear that Kathleen Kennedy is going to be stepping down. And it doesn't happen. So I wouldn't get your hopes up. I think she should. Somebody else should get in there, but we'll see what happens. I don't know. Now, usually on Wednesday's show, on the third topic, I talk about the new movies or new movie that's going to be coming out this weekend. And there is a new movie coming out that I'm actually going to see with my dad tomorrow, and that is Last Breath, which is based on a true story about, hey, guess what? I guess we can kind of talk about that. But we'll talk about the Daredevil reactions too, because just in the last hour and whatever, there's actually a Rotten Tomato score and there's some reviews. And, well, that's cool. So we'll talk about this a little bit before we talk about Daredevil reactions. But, I still have that up. Hold on. Let me move this over to this screen. Okay. So if anybody's seen Last Breath right now, it's currently at 83% with only 18 reviews. But kind of curious about this, based on a true story. Woody Harrelson, like him. But yeah, I have to say, after Last Breath finished, I sighed a sigh in relief, as that was one of the most tense experiences I've ever had in the movie theater. Oh boy, this is going to be one of those where I'm going to freaking be like, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. At its core, it's pretty damn effective. The question of this rescue attempt can work, and its depiction is appropriately harrowing, even if the movie is a bit surface level. Forgive the water-related pun with its characters. Last Breath feels rushed, stripping the narrative of its emotional core and leaving the audience with little more than a bare-bones thriller, where the outcome is inevitable as it is underwhelming. It's hard to deny the power of Chris's presence, which previously supported the documentary treatment, and now it works as something a bit more cinematic. Last Breath is a gripping story that still finds the intimate personal moments amid a perilous life or death ordeal. Yeah, something tells me I'm going to freaking start having heart palpitations. I don't know. Like, I get nervous. Underwater stuff freaks me out. I mean, I will say this, guys, personal experience. One time the ocean tried to kill me. One time, probably about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, probably longer than that, the ocean tried to kill me. I almost died one time, guys. I almost died in the ocean. Stupidly, me and my friends, well, my friend had like a rental place on the beach, no lifeguards and everything like that. His family had a rental place, and then the next day we decided, hey, let's go swimming. Turns out the tide was pretty rough, and a riptide pulled me and my friend Craig totally out, and I struggled. I almost got taken out by the ocean, and he got out saw that I was not out, and he started like trotting down the beach because I got pulled out even more. And I tell you what, I've never been so just tired, exhausted in my life. But man, I just was like, oh, when you finally feel the surface, the sand underneath, and then the tide is still trying to pull you out. Oh my God. I used every muscle in my toes to just grip. And I was just like, nah, trying to get out of that, man. Oh, never get caught in any riptide, especially if there's no lifeguard on duty. Jesus Christ. It was a private little beach area. I remember getting out of there and just being like, holy shit. I mean, I was so exhausted. But yeah, so, you know, I've had other moments in my life as a kid where I was like, oh shit, you know, you get pushed in something, wasn't a great swimmer, all this kind of stuff. So, whew, yeah. So this movie's gonna make my heart. It's gonna make my my beats, the beats in my chest, gonna go. But hey, you know, gonna spend some time with my dad. He's gonna come down the hill, and we're gonna watch that. But Daredevil. So, like I said, I was, officially I was gonna be like, all right, well, since there's no reviews for that, let's talk about some Daredevil reactions. And I do want to talk about one specific thing too when it comes to Daredevil, because I was like, But obviously the reactions were in when I did Monday's show. During Monday's show, they basically, right when I started my show on Monday at 6 o'clock Pacific time, that's when the social media embargo happened. So I've seen some good stuff right here. But yeah, I'm just reading some of these reactions where it says, Daredevil Born Again. This is from someone named Dio. It said, Daredevil Born Again is everything you didn't know you wanted in a Daredevil show. It's brutal, haunting, yet beautiful. Fans of the Netflix show will be very pleased. Make sure you have tissues. It's going to get wet. Well, what are the tissues exactly for? Tears or... All right, moving on. Now, one of the things that I saw today, I'm not trying to shit on it, but I saw this right here. So there's this GIF was going around. Daredevil versus Bullseye in the first 10 minutes of Daredevil Born Again. Now, cool. I would love to see that battle, but I will say the timing of the punches with the swinging of the head, a little off. Like when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, that seems a little off. And a lot of people are kind of going like, eek, you know? I mean, obviously they're, he's not going to really punch him, but I just thought, man, maybe do another take to make it look a little better. I don't know. That's all. I mean, it was just kind of like, ooh, I was like, wow, that was the only take they had. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm still thinking this thing's going to be absolutely fantastic. We got somebody named Rayon right here that says, Daredevil Born Again is a worthy successor. Nails that made the original work while moving these characters forward in shocking ways. The grounded tone and grit is there, and the writing is as great as before. The action, even larger and sharper. Traumatized, overjoyed, loved it. So we got that too. That's cool. Let's see if I see any more reactions. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, there's even more of an up close. I mean, it just seems a little off. But, it's not going to make it or break it for me. It just it seems a little off. Let's see. We got Neb Good Takes right here. Very happy to report that Daredevil Born Again is a phenomenal entry in the MCU. The man who fought queer makes you feel right at home, as the cast hasn't skipped a beat since 2018. All right. I was like, am I reading that right? Yeah, okay. All right. That's fine. But, yeah. I mean, I guess we could just say that everybody's enjoying it. Daredevil Born Again is a vision of what's to come for the future of the MCU television. It's as if Marvel took the substance and injected us straight back into the world of Daredevil. It easily has the most brutal action in a Marvel project to date. Look out for a magical cameo. A magical cameo. Wong? Is that going to be Wong? Moon Knight? I don't know. Who's that going to be? Anyway, so there you go. There's some Daredevil reactions right there. March for that's what, Tuesday? Tuesday, so I'll give my review. Probably give my first reaction on Tuesday, and then I will talk about it on Wednesday's show. We'll talk about it then. So, all right. Now, Academy Award voters can go fuck themselves. What is happening here? If you want to know why the Oscars are just whatever, man, there's been a couple of reports that you can't even believe, what the hell is even happening right here? And it's just it's kind of crazy because it's okay, these are the people who are voting for all this stuff. Well, first we had this article right here from Variety. What anonymous Oscar ballots ultimately show from Fernanda Torres is a goddess to voters mistakenly believing Ralph Fiennes won before. So in this article right here, anonymous Oscar ballots have become a contentious topic among film pundits. Some consider them a red herring, arguing they distract from the predetermined outcome. There's some truth to that. I conducted my first batch of casual chats with Oscar voters in 2012 and blah, 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 talked about all that. The Academy's voting process is now entirely digital, with two-factor authenticity. I can't even say it right now. Jesus Christ. Authenticity. I can't even say it. My brain, again, today is a little fried. It remains difficult for someone to delegate their ballot to another person. The Academy does not release official voter turnout numbers. This year, 9,945 Academy Motion Picture Arts and Sciences members were eligible to vote. Industry experts estimate that participation in the organization is this size, a range of 30% to 70%, blah, blah, blah. This year, of course, they talked about that, Oscar predicting, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of things that go in this, the votes and everything, but it was kind of funny because what basically was happening here, folks, is the fact that they thought that, I shouldn't vote. I should not vote for Ralph Fiennes again because he already won for Schindler's List. So an anonymous voter was like, I'm not going to vote for Ralph Fiennes because he won before in Schindler's List. That's not the way that you're supposed to be doing that, okay? That's not the way you're supposed to be doing this. Okay? I mean, it's pretty crazy. So, yeah, you got people saying that voter number 6 right here said, I watch everything. I hate it when people don't take this job seriously. It's our responsibility to watch all of it. When you don't, you miss masterpieces like The Substance and Emilia Perez. Okay. That's a masterpiece, Emilia Perez? Sure, fine. You say so. But, I like what she had to say. I like what that person had to say because it was like, hey, I'm going to watch everything, which is good. But, yeah. But the fact that it's like, okay, I'm not going to do that. But the biggest thing when it came to all this, and this was a new article that came out today. From Entertainment Weekly. 4 Oscar voters reveal their juicy secret ballot picks. Carla Sofia Gascon toast in Best Actress. Brutalist is poverty porn. All right. So this article was released today when it came to all this. And, yeah, Anonymous, the director, beloved work, blah, blah, blah. But they basically, you could read this whole entire article right here when they break it down as well. But some of these anonymous voters right here, well, they called The Brutalist poverty porn, first off. And when it came to Dune Part 2, some of these people actually admitted and said that they didn't want to watch Dune Part 2 because they didn't want to dive into another 3-hour-long movie because they didn't get the first one. So they didn't even watch it. That's right. They didn't even watch it. See, this is where we're at nowadays, where all this information just gets posted to us. And now we're finding out that even sometimes these Oscar voters, these anonymous people, don't even watch every single one of these movies? They don't? I don't even get what's going on. I mean, this is why it's like, why do we even watch these shows? I mean, yeah, it's kind of cool, and I do plan on watching the Oscars this weekend because I like Conan, but it's just the fact of the matter is, it's like, especially because, and I think this is what hit me hardest because Dune Part 2 was my favorite movie of last year, and I think it deserves all the accolades. And there are Oscar voters that are like, yeah, I didn't really get the first one, didn't want to sit through 3 hours of a second one. They should not be voting on Oscars if that's the case. And that's the bad part. That's ridiculous. I'm like, what? What? Couldn't believe it when I read that. But yeah, you can read these 2 articles. Like I said, I'm not going to like dive into it. Like both these articles kind of break that down. I think some of them take it seriously, but some do not. And it's like, wow. And that's what was being floated around today, was the fact that for a second time, we have some dumbass anonymous Oscars voters that are voting on these movies. And that's just, I'm sorry. Nope. You kind of understand that. But Stephanie, if you were picked to be one of these people, if you were picked to be one of these people, you would actually watch it. So the fact that they're actually supposed to watch it and chose not to, that's the issue right there. Nothing wrong with not understanding and doing all that, but, you know, that's what it is. Don't vote if you don't watch. Yeah, exactly. Anyways, all right. Well, there you go, guys. That's all the topics we have here. That's all the topics. Let's see what you guys are saying over on the Twitter sphere. All right. Let's make sure there's not too much madness that's happening. I think we're going to be okay. All right. Let's see what you guys are saying on Twitter right here. All right. We got Eric Blake. Hey, Dave, ironically, your point about DC Studios needing to be run by the guy who knows what the genre is all about connects perfectly with LucasFilm. True. On that note, if KK, obviously Kathleen Kennedy, ever does get retired, the leadership should absolutely be handed to Dave Filoni. Yeah, I agree with you. And maybe maybe there could be, some Favreau in there too. They work great together. Maybe a trifecta with, Jon Favreau, like you're saying right here, Tony Gilroy. All 3 guys have consistently proven they know what makes for good Star Wars. Gilroy with Andor, Favreau with Mando, and Filoni. Yeah, but the thing is, though, like if you're thinking about like in terms of like DC Studios, you need somebody that's going to handle all the business side, you know? These are mainly creatives. So you need somebody who's like good with the business as well. So I don't know, but I'm with you on that. Make those gents the Jedi Council and we'll be eating good. Yeah. They should do something like that. Kenny, my advice, let fans like us enjoy the stuff we all love when it comes to Star Wars, Marvel, DC Comics, Disney, etc. Instead of complaining that you don't love, be respectful, be kind, love what you love. Don't be one of those people. Yeah. Say it for the people and back Kenny, but sadly, that's not going to be the case. And Kenny also said, Dave, so I think Kathleen Kennedy was a great producer for mostly Steven Spielberg's films, but when it came to running a studio, she was way out of her league. I think to run Star Wars, you need an outside person running Star Wars at Lucasfilm and Disney, but that's just me. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Mr. Nobody, hey Dave, what do you think James Gunn is planning for his next secret project? I get a feeling that it's going to be a lesser known character since that's his go-to. To be honest, one of my favorites is Metamorpho, and I'm super happy that we're getting him in Superman. Yeah, it would be crazy if he did like a Metamorpho like spin-off, but I would actually. I mean, I like the fact that people are saying Green Arrow and World's Finest, to be honest. But it probably will be an off the cuff character. Cooper Knox. Kathleen Kennedy will forever be the president of Lucasfilm, even when she's turned into a spooky ghost. Yeah, that sounds about right. Kenny again. Dave, if Superman and Supergirl get sequels in the DCU, would you like to see a movie or series with Clark and Kara working together, maybe solve a problem? Also, do you think we will see Nation City in the DCU? Well, I mean, James Gunn is running it, so maybe he will inject that in there, possibly. I mean, I don't know if they'll go that far when it comes to them working together on something. Dave, I am at the point right now with fandoms and such that the toxic stuff, bickering, complaining, and the whining is becoming too much. At times, if you don't like something, then don't comment about it. Yeah, but I think what it is like they love to shit on things. I mean, when it comes to Snyder, the diehard Snyder fans, it's like, well, it's our turn now. I don't know how many times I've had back and forths with Snyder fans in my mentions where it's like, remember when they told us? I had somebody said like, remember when they told us that we couldn't like something? I'm like, who the fuck said you couldn't like something? Like, it's so funny when like the argument is, remember when they told us to not like something? I'm going, did you actually think that somebody had control of you not liking something? You like whatever you want. It called them an asshole, called them stupid, called them whatever, and just move on when it comes to that. Yes, they said like, oh yeah, I don't know how many times like when it came to Zach posting stuff, about the Snyder Cut, and I had people in my mentions that said he needs to get offline, and now I have people saying that about James. It's like a fucking circle. Darkness Under the Wind. Dave, question 1, could the project that Gunn is teasing be the first Justice League movie in the DCU? I doubt that. Question 2, which characters do you think will survive in Avengers Secret Wars and be in the MCU reboot? Fuck. I would think only Spider-Man? I don't know. I don't think any of them would, but Devin Wooter, Dave, can you raise your glass for Michelle Trachtenberg? I totally did. She passed away, and I don't know why people blame James Gunn for the Wonder Woman game. Well, it's because they want to blame anything that happens. They stub their toe. God damn it, James Gunn. Got canceled. It was in development before he got to DC. Do you have a favorite scene from Avengers Infinity War? I like the end scene where it just, I like how you use that one, that GIF right there. It's pretty funny. Thor showing up, that was pretty awesome. Jaman. Okay, let's just be real here. Everyone, the whole reason why WB Games are in the situation is because of the former head of WB Games, David Haddad, who has been with the company for 12 years, and that he canceled Wonder Woman, Constantine, and Flash games behind the scenes of it. No, Jaman, it's James Gunn's fault. We've already covered that already. Come on. Get with the program here. It's James Gunn's fault. I know. It's all funny, but yeah, I joke around. But I would think just like, when it comes to all this, let's relax a little bit. To the people who don't like Zach, who are trying to defend all this, stop bringing up concepts and ideas that were not utilized, okay? He didn't utilize, he had ideas because that's what people do. You have ideas, you start brainstorming, you start writing it down. And yes, they ended up being public when it came to the storyboards, when it came to his Wonder Woman image. Okay, but hey, they didn't go forward, all right? Now, when it comes to that Wonder Woman origin, I still think that'd be kind of cool. And to the James Gunn people out there, James Gunn has posted the Warrior badass Wonder Woman, okay? So don't expect Wonder Woman to be, lighthearted when she does show up in the DCU. Don't expect that. It seems like James Gunn is all about the badass warrior with the sword and the shield and everything like that. Okay? Don't expect him to just be like, no, I'm not going to go that way. I'm going to go this way and do what happened with Wonder Woman 84. Not gonna be the case. Seems like James Gunn's down for the warrior type. And if the Paradise Lost ends up being, it's probably going to be a pretty adult series if they're going to try to treat it like Game of Thrones. Guess what? We're definitely going to get that badass. And I wouldn't be surprised, again, when James and Zack met with each other, would not be surprised if they discussed something like that. You'd better believe that James Gunn knows Zack Snyder's original pitch when it came to that origin, and probably dug it. I'm thinking he dug it. Okay? So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens when it comes to Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman fans will be okay, I think. Maybe. Who knows? All right, guys. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. You guys are awesome. Hit that like, thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. And, we'll do a members-only stream after this. So if you want to be a part of it, become a member, support the channel. And I'll see you guys, you members, in a little bit. And like I said, a reminder, no DC Fanimated stream tonight. We're not going to be doing that. Obviously, that would be happening in 15 minutes. So not going to be happening tonight. And the Vodka stream is not going to be Friday. It's going to be pushed to Saturday because, like I said, going to a friend of mine's little shindig. So Saturday, Vodka stream. We'll have some discussions and have a good panel and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, members, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Everybody else, I'll see you Saturday. All right, guys, love ya. Talk to you later.